Fluent Flow podcast. New videos every day. Let's learn English together.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we unpack source material you've shared with us, digging into the most important insights. We really try to help you get straight to the knowledge that matters.
Cutting through the noise so you don't have to spend hours figuring it all out.
Exactly. And today we're doing a deep dive into something, well, really practical for many of you learning English, that habit of translating in your head.
Yes, the mental gymnastics.
Right. The source material you sent us for this is a script from a podcast called the Fluent Flow podcast, and it tackles this exact issue, like head on.
It really does. It addresses that moment where you have an idea, your brain grabs it in your first language, and then you're stuck trying to map each word perfectly to English.
It's so common. And honestly, it feels like the right thing to do sometimes, doesn't it? But the Fluent Flow script argues it can really hold you back.
Definitely.
So our mission today is to dig into what the script says about why we do this, and maybe more importantly, the practical, actionable steps it suggests for moving past it.
We want to unpack those core techniques the script presents for thinking and ultimately speaking English more naturally, directly from the source you provided.
Okay, let's start where the script starts. Understanding the problem itself. Why do we even translate in our heads?
Well, the script points out, and this is key, it's a totally normal habit. If you do this, you're absolutely not alone.
Right, and it makes perfect sense when you think about it. Your brain has spent maybe your whole life building super strong connections in your first language. That's the default setting.
It's the automatic system. So when you learn English, the path of least resistance for any thought is, well, it's through that first language system.
You get the idea, your brain slots it into your native language structure, the one you're fluent in, and then comes the tricky part, trying to build that bridge over to English.
Yeah, and the script gives a really clear example, thinking something simple like, it's raining in your own language. Maybe, está chovendo, if you speak Portuguese or Spanish. And then that mental search begins. You're being, okay, what's the English for está? What's the English for chovendo? Trying to assemble it, like piece by piece, word by word.
And the script really drives home the cost of doing that. It feels safe, like you're being accurate, but it actually causes a lot of problems. It's just not efficient.
Not at all. The script highlights the big issues. First, and this is obvious, it drastically slows you down. You have to pause, think, translate, then speak.
It's like hitting a mental pause button over and over again.
Exactly. Which naturally leads to the second problem. It completely breaks your speaking flow. You just can't have a smooth, flowing conversation if you're constantly stopping like that.
Yeah, it feels really jerky, probably for you and the person listening.
And that feeds into the third issue the script points out. It often makes you feel unsure, makes you second guess yourself. Because you're doing this complicated mental task, often under pressure, you start doubting if you picked the right word or got the grammar right.
It can really chip away at your confidence. You know that driving analogy the script uses? It's spot on. Trying to speak by translating word for word is like driving, but slamming the brakes every few seconds to check the map for the next tiny turn.
Right. You might get there eventually, but it's going to be slow, bumpy, and super frustrating.
Yeah.
You certainly won't feel like a smooth, confident driver.
Not at all. So, okay, that's the problem. This translation habit's slowing us down, breaking the flow. What's the core solution the Fluent Flow script offers? What's the big shift?
The central idea, the sort of fundamental goal presented in the script, is training your brain to connect meaning directly to English, bypassing that detour through your first language altogether.
Building a direct pathway.
Exactly. Instead of thinking idea native language English, you want to build idea English. You're aiming to forge a direct link between a concept, an image, a situation, and the English words or phrases for it.
Okay, so the goal isn't better translation, it's making English your primary operating system when you're using English. The script breaks this down into steps, right? Let's get into the first one.
Right. Step one is foundational. It's explicitly about creating that direct link we were just talking about. The script says the key is connecting an English word straight to its meaning. The image, the idea, the feeling, not to its translation.
So instead of learning that apple means, say, manzana or plum, you learn that the word apple represents that thing, the round fruit, maybe red, maybe green, that you can eat. Connect the English word to the concept.
Precisely. The script uses simple examples like apple, door, dog. Also actions like run, sleep. For door, you picture the actual door. For run, you see the action. For sleep, you feel the state. The connection is English word, idea, image, concept.
No middleman, no native word in between.
Exactly. And the script compares this to how kids learn their first language. A baby sees a dog, hears the word dog, and boom, direct connection. Sound a furry thing.
Makes sense. Their brain isn't translating from some other language they already know.
Right. So the practical advice from the source is, try to rely less on word lists with translation side by side. Instead, use things that build direct links, like flashcards with only pictures, or using real objects around you. Learning words in simple sentences where the context makes the meaning obvious.
Anything that minimizes that intermediate step through your first language.
Yeah. You're essentially trying to rewire your brain a bit for English.
Okay, connecting words directly to meaning. Got it. What's step 2 the script talks about for building this English-first approach?
Step 2 is a technique the script calls very powerful. It's the listen and repeat method, but crucially, doing it only in English.
Okay, so hear English, understand it, and then say it back in English without translating first.
Precisely. You hear an English phrase, you grasp its meaning, maybe from the situation, maybe you can picture it, and then right away you repeat that phrase out loud in English.
The key is fighting that urge to mentally translate what you heard before saying it back.
Exactly. You're training your ear and your mouth to work together in English, based on understanding the core idea. The script gives simple examples like, I'm hungry.
Right. You hear, I'm hungry, you connect it to the feeling of hunger, and you just say, I'm hungry. The pathway is, hear English, understand meaning, speak English.
Yes, you're reinforcing that direct route. The source suggests doing this daily, even for just a few minutes. Use short phrases from podcasts, maybe language apps, bits of TV shows.
Anything with natural English.
Yeah. But the active part is repeating after you hear and understand, skipping the translation. It trains your brain to just accept and reproduce English patterns directly.
Okay, so direct links for words, then listen and repeat for phrases and patterns. That brings us to step 3. This one sounds interesting. Integrating English into your day.
It is. Step 3 is a pretty clever trick, actually. Use easy English all day by talking to yourself.
Talking to yourself, like narrating your life.
Yeah.
In your head or...
Well, the source suggests maybe both. But the core idea is to actively get your brain thinking in English during your normal routine. You're kind of deliberately swapping out some of that internal chatter that usually happens in your native language.
You're trying to build that English brain the script mentioned earlier, making English the sort of background track in your head.
That's a really good way to put it. And the goal isn't perfect grammar or deep thoughts. It's just about creating a steady, low-pressure flow of simple English thinking.
Okay.
The script gives great examples from everyday life, like as you're getting ready in the morning, think or say, I'm getting up, I'm brushing my teeth.
Or maybe at lunch, I'm making rice, I'm eating now. Simple stuff.
Simple stuff, or just looking around. The sky is blue, I see a dog, that car is red. The script even encourages you, the listener, to try it right now. Look around and describe 3 things in basic English.
That's the kind of practice. It makes English active in your mind, even when you're alone. You're constantly like nudging your brain onto the English path instead of the default native language one.
And the focus on easy English is important here. Use the words and simple sentences you already know comfortably. It's about practice and building the habit, not about performance anxiety or getting everything perfect.
Right. Lower the stakes, raise the frequency. Makes sense. Okay, so we've got direct links, listen, repeat, talking to yourself. What's step 4 from the script?
Step 4 is more about how you learn. It's a strategic tip. Focus on learning phrases, not just single words on their own. The script presents this as a much smarter path to fluency.
And the thinking behind that is, a single word doesn't really tell you how to use it naturally.
Precisely. You can memorize the word go, but that doesn't automatically tell you to say, I want to go, not I want to go, or something else awkward. You still need to figure out the structure.
But if you learn I want to go as one whole piece,
then you instantly have a usable bit of natural English. You're learning language in these ready-made chunks, as the script kind of implies, groups of words that just naturally belong together.
like conversational building blocks.
Exactly. Learning chunks means you learn the word and its context and how it fits grammatically in common patterns. The script contrasts just learning go with learning phrases like let's go or where are you going.
Right.
So when you need that idea, your brain might just grab the whole I want to go chunk instead of translating I, then want, then to, then go, and then trying to assemble the grammar.
Which is obviously much faster. And probably more accurate because you're using units that native speakers actually use. The script mentions other useful ones too, like, I don't know, can you help me? I'm not sure.
Yeah, those everyday phrases.
Yeah.
Learning and thinking in these chunks, the source argues, helps you bypass a lot of that slow, word-by-word translation work.
That ties back perfectly to the main problem we started with. You're learning conversational units that help you skip the mental translation factory. Okay, so direct links, listen, repeat, talk to self, learn phrases. What's the final key step?
Step 5 is maybe the simplest, but the script really stresses how crucial it is. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Fluency doesn't come from learning something just once. It comes from hearing it, saying it, using it many, many times.
This is where that automaticity comes in, right?
Yeah.
Making those direct links and those phrases so ingrained, they just happen without you consciously thinking about it.
Yes. Like typing or riding a bike, you don't think about every single muscle movement after a while.
Or tying your shoes.
Exactly. Repetition is what builds those neural pathways and makes them strong, fast, and automatic. The more you repeat and use English actively, the less mental effort it takes, and the less your brain will even try to go back to that slower translation route.
It's like forging a path in a forest. The first time is tough, pushing through branches. But walk it daily, and soon it's a clear, easy path you can jog down without thinking.
Beautiful analogy. That's exactly it. Repetition makes the English pathway the easy default route. And the script suggests ways to do this, like deliberately repeating common phrases you want to own, using those picture flashcards again and again.
Re-listening to short dialogues multiple times.
Yes, or watching short video clips and actively repeating lines or describing what's happening. It's not just passive review. It's active, consistent re-engagement.
Got it. The core message is clear. Repetition is the engine that trains your brain to work automatically in English and finally ditch the translation habit.
It's what makes all the other steps truly stick long term.
Now, the script also adds a little note of encouragement at the end, which seems really important here.
It does. It basically says, be patient with yourself. This kind of change, especially breaking a habit you might have had for years, it doesn't happen instantly.
It takes time.
It takes time, it takes consistent daily practice, and, maybe crucially, it takes trusting the process. The script reassures you that if you stick with these steps, they will work. The effort pays off in fluency.
That's a great point. Acknowledging the challenge, but also offering that clear path and the promise of real improvement. So let's try and bring together the main takeaways from this Fluent Flow podcast script on stopping translation.
Okay, the script essentially lays out this roadmap. First, consciously connect English words directly to meaning images, concepts, not translations.
Right.
Second, use that listen and repeat method, making sure you understand and echo the English, keeping it all in English.
Okay.
Third, build your English brain by talking to yourself, narrating your day in simple English.
Daily habit.
Fourth, focus your learning on full phrases, those chunks of language, not just isolated words.
Learn like native speakers use it.
And fifth, the big one, repeat everything constantly. Hear it, say it, use it. Repetition builds that automaticity.
That was a really useful deep dive into this script. It takes a very common frustration for learners and offers such a clear step-by-step approach. It feels very practical, very grounded.
Yeah, the core message really boils down to retraining your brain's default settings, doesn't it? Moving from a translation-first default to an English-first default. And the tools are direct connection and lots of repetition.
So, thinking about all that, based on the source material we've just unpacked, what's maybe one tiny thing you, listening now, could do today? What's one simple phrase you could pick to start repeating or using when you talk to yourself, just to begin building that automatic English pathway?
It could be super simple.
Yeah.
Like the script's example, next time you make a coffee or tea, just think or whisper, I'm making coffee. Start there.
That's a perfect place to begin. Just start building that little bit of momentum. Well, thank you for sharing this source material with us, and thank you all for joining us for this deep dive into these ideas from the Fluent Flow script. We really hope it helps you on your path to thinking more directly in English.
Absolutely. Goodbye for now, and keep practicing.